Hey, welcome to the DPP channel. We have this top 8 game that I would like to share with you all. I brought along my armor release for my locals and went to the top 8. The top 8 actually faced the Mother D Reaper. Now initially thinking this would be a very even matchup or rather in my favor, I was about to be very wrong. Join me as we take a look at what kind of struggles I am about to face against the infamous Mother D Reaper. Without further ado, let's dive into the game itself as we do see a Flame Dramon ready in the nursery. While on his side of the field, he does have a Searcher as well as the Pendulum Feet picking up the Searchers as well as the Bubbles. I'm gonna push out the Flame Dramon most likely because I do want to proc the Upamon draw, which is very nice, especially in the armor release, and do gain 3k DP. Hitting to a Reaper though, so that's 15k DP against the 8k DP. Armor release will activate. I'm gonna hardcore another Veemon to just pass the turn. Now, in the way I'm playing my armor release is to really set up the board, especially the Dual Tamers, because the Dual Tamers actually allow you to actually restand your Veemons in the case whereby the armor release do happen, and you're supposed to apply the Rocket option to actually give the security attack +1. But let's talk about it later when it happens during the game, as we do see the Searcher coming down using the draw 1, and we're going to see the Bubbles reducing cost thanks to the Mother D Reaper, so it's just going to choke me at 2 memory here as I do hatch into another Upamon. I'm gonna of course evolve to the Veemon with the jamming there in the nursery, which is the best card in my opinion for the armor release, because upon actually releasing the armor, you can actually use the jamming Veemon to still swing at security, so the jamming will apply, so your jamming Veemon will not die, which is very important because you do want to follow up more plays on top of that Veemon. So as we do see a second Mother D Reaper being hatched, but we just see a Searcher being hardcore down here, and the Searcher will go under the Mother D Reaper, making it 3 count ready. The Bubbles will actually swing at the security, so he's turning up the aggressiveness as he does hit into a Flame Dramon and a Dual Tamer. Now this Dual Tamer is definitely very favorable to me because I'm going to push out the Rhydramon, and the Rhydramon will basically give me 4 memory to work with. So I actually use the Mother D Reaper effect to actually hardcore the Creep Hands, which is actually quite annoying in my opinion because it can stop my Rhydramon, and it's going to play the Black Tamer to pass the turn. I'm going to push out the Rhydramon, and thanks to the 2 Dual Tamers, I'm going to go to 8 memory, which is a lot. I'm going to start the turn off with a Fire Rocket, giving my Rhydramon a plus security attack 1. So it's going to be swinging at a security, drawing 1 thanks to Upamon. Decide to block it, so the armor release will happen to become a jamming Veemon. I'm going to evolve on top of the Veemon into a Magnamon, which will restand itself, so the Fire Rocket option actually be carried forward. So there will be 2 security attack on the Magnamon itself, and we do get plus 2k DP for each armor release Digimon in the drop zone. So I do see 3 of them. I'm going to evolve to the Pale Dramon using a Dual Tamer to restand it, so the DP plus will actually be brought forward. So the Pale Dramon will actually be swinging for at least 14k DP, which is very sick, and I'm going to end the game here. So the Fire Rocket option is definitely very worrying for the Mother D Reaper player, but we shall see what game 2 is about to bring. As I do evolve to Veemon here in the nursery, which is a very good first turn, I'm going to play the Dual Tamer already. So it might be giving a bit too much memory to the Mother D Reaper as a start, but we have no much option because we actually don't have any armor release Digimon in my hand. So I'm gonna start off the turn with the Searcher, which is very, consistent, I would say, as he does actually hardcore the Creep Hands. And at this point, I should be swinging my Veemon because Creep Hands doesn't have any blocker yet. It requires Mother D Reaper to be in play before it does gain the blocker ability, so I should be swinging the Veemon, drawing the Upamon first to actually cycle into my deck because I'm lacking those armor release Digimon. And Veemons without armor release is actually just a rookie rush but weaker. A lot weaker, as you do see a Pendulum Feet picking up that 2 Surges to hand, which is very nice for him because it does allow him to cycle a lot more and memory choke me at this point. But thanks to the Dual Tamer, I do gain 1 memory of course, starting a turn with 2 memory, which isn't too bad, but I'm hoping to draw those armor Digimons already. So I'm going to start off the turn by swinging with my Veemon, which will proc the Upamon draw, and I feel that I should have done it in the previous turn because now he can block it, which he does so now, killing off that Veemon, so very unfortunate. But I do draw 1 after all. I'm going to hit to a Davis here looking at top 3. We do hit into a Rhydramon as well as a Veemon, which is perfect for the next turn, but we shall see what is he going to do. Given that he has 3 Digimons on the field already, he's going to hatch to another Mother D Reaper, and of course use the Mother D Reaper to suck in one of the Searchers there, making it 2 count now. I'm going to use another Searcher to just draw 1, basically just cycling through the deck. Now it's going to use the Mother D Reaper skill to actually reduce the play cost of the Bubbles to put another Searcher underneath the Mother, making it 3 already, and it's going to play the Dual Tamer to pass the turn. Then you do have the Dual Tamer, so you're going to gain 1 memory, pushing us to 5. Then you're going to push out the Veemon because you're going to set up the turn by evolving to the Rhydramon. Basically next time when we push up, we gain 2 memory, so I'm going to start swinging my Veemons because I don't want to let him proc his Black Tamer, so he's going to kill off 1 of it. And I'm going to throw the Veemon at the security and does hit into a Bubbles, which he can use to actually put 1 more Searcher underneath the Mother, so it's up to 4 already, which is very scary because once 6 comes down, once the Gatekeeper comes down, it might be game over. I'm gonna pick up the Dual Tamer from the top 4 thanks to the Veemon to actually play it straight away to pass the turn. So I'm really aiming for the next turn where my Rydramon does push out. I'll be guaranteeing at least 7 memory to work with, which is a lot, especially if I'm going to plan for that Fire Rocket option placing on the Rydramon. But he's going to swing with his Digimon first at the security, and I'm here hoping to hit into another Dual Tamer so I can extend my plays more. But looks like we don't have the same luck as game 1. He's going to use the Mother D Reaper skill to actually reduce the cost of the Jerry, and I'll be using the effect straight away to look at top 5 to put 1 Surges underneath the Mother D Reaper. So it's currently at 6 already, so this means Gatekeeper is online. And looks like it's going to just hardcore the Gatekeeper and healing to 5 already. So at this point, I really have only one option to play, which is the Fire Rocket option. So I'm going to push out the Rydramon, guarantee 2 memory thanks to the Dual Tamer. We're gonna hardcore the Veemon, so we definitely are farming still. We're gonna farm mainly an Armor Digimon so that we can apply or rather evolve on top of the Veemon in case it does Armor Break. We're gonna cast 2 Fire Rocket here so it will be Security Attack 3, but thanks to the Gatekeeper it will be reduced by 1, so it'll just be 2 Security Attack here. So what can possibly go wrong in this scenario, because I do have a very buffed up Rydramon and 2 Dual Tamers at the back, but we don't actually hit or rather release our armor here. We're going to evolve to the Pale Dramon using the Dual Tamer to actually withstand it. So same idea, the Fire Rocket option will be staying on the Pale Dramon and going to be swinging at security for 2 checks. But the first check will be the Gatekeeper, so he's going to heal 1, and with 2 Gatekeepers on the field, there will be only 1 security attack in total. So at this point, I know this is game over because Gatekeeper is just too strong. So we're moving on to game 3. I'm really hoping my deck doesn't break any further, or I'm going to draw all those Fire Rocket options because it's the only way to deal with the Gatekeeper, as my deck is not exactly equipped to actually deal with that beast of a card. I'm going to evolve to the Jamming Veemon and going to play the Dual Tamer to pass the turn. So pretty similar scenario from the second game. I'm going to use the Mother D Reaper to of course slot the Searcher in. I'm going to use the reduced cost to actually hard play the Jerry already. The Jerry will basically speed up the Searcher's process and will hit into the 6 or 7 win condition. So the Jamming Veemon will do his work here, drawing 1 and of course swing 1 security, and going to evolve to the Magnamon to just pass the turn. Not the best because Magnamon do actually pass the turn. What I'm hoping for will be actually just any armor release Digimon in the form of Rydramon or the Flame Dramon, and using the Dual Tamer to withstand it, and I'm going to continue the aggression. But unfortunately, I do have only the Magnamon, so it's just going to pass the turn as he does use his Mother D Reaper to suck in another Searcher once again, and he's at 3 count already, so he's halfway there to the Gatekeeper, which is the win condition against armor release in general. We're going to hatch to Upamon of course, and evolving to a Veemon. The Magnamon will be swinging at the Jerry because I do respect that the Jerry being alive is going to speed up too fast for the Gatekeeper to be online. I'm going to evolve on top of the Magnamon actually to a Pale Dramon, using the Dual Tamer to reset it. So basically the idea is to really swing with the Pale Dramon in the next turn, and of course gaining 2 memory thanks to the Dual Tamer. However, is that really enough though? It's going to use another Jerry hardcore. Thanks to the Mother D Reaper reduced cost, you can look at top 5 and it's putting 1 more Searcher down there, and it's currently at 5 already, so basically the next turn the Gatekeeper is going to be online if he does have it. It's going to hardcore the bubbles just to pass the turn. I'm going to start out the turn with 4 memory thanks to that Dual Tamer and the Pale Dramon on the field, pushing up the Veemon, and we really have to start the aggression, but I'm going to respect the Jerry once more. But looking back now, I don't think I should swing at the Jerry because he's already hitting the 6 count or 7 count in the next turn. So there isn't really any value to hit the Jerry. I'm going to evolve to the Magnamon of course on top of the Veemon, and I'll be swinging at security because I really want to push the damage here, and I'm really looking forward to the Red Rocket option in my hand, but looks like I do have only the Ice Wall. I'm going to hardcore the Veemon just to pass the turn. Now the idea behind the Ice Wall though is because I'm really scared that Reaper coming down next turn, which he can actually potentially have it by just putting 1 more Searches underneath the Mother D Reaper, calling another Bubbles for example, and then going straight for the Reaper to end the game. The Ice Wall is there for mainly deterrence, but however he can just simply ignore this turn and go for the lethal the next turn. It's going to actually reduce the cost of the Pilates head and actually kill out that Veemon, not killing off the Magnamon yet. It's going to hardcore the Gatekeeper for 11 cost here. I'm going to heal him to 3 security, and the only way I can punish this play is to actually have the Red Rocket option in hand. But unfortunately, it looks like I don't have it. I'm going to evolve to the Veemon in Nursery to start things off. I'm going to hardcore a Veemon, so basically I really want to cycle through my deck to actually hit into the Flame Rocket, or the Fire Rocket, sorry. And it looks like I don't have it. I'm going to use the Magnamon to swing at the Pilates head to draw 1 thanks to Upamon. So I'm really desperately trying to draw that Red Rocket option out. I'm gonna hardcore another Vmon, and those Digimons have nothing against the Gatekeeper, which is very unfortunate, I would say. Looks like I'm gonna play another Ice Wall because I really respect that Reaper coming down later in the next turn, and he does actually have it, as we can see from this angle. He's gonna just play the Black Tamer to ignore the Ice Wall, so that's very nice. So we're gonna start the turn with 5 memory thanks to the Rhydramon and the Dual Tamer. We're gonna push out the Flame Dramon, and the Flame Dramon will be swinging at security just to draw one. Man, that Gatekeeper existence make armor release feel so bad, as we are still desperately trying to draw the Fire Rocket, and we actually draw it. But we're gonna play the Dual Tamer to set it up for the next turn, and his Dual Tamer is gonna guarantee 3 memory for him. Gonna swing with the bubbles at the security, hitting to a Fire Rocket, which we were desperately finding the whole game, and it's in the security, so that's unfortunate. It's gonna use the Pilates Head to actually cure the Magnamon, which is very important because it is a blocker that can block the Reaper, and it's gonna actually play the Iron Fisted Onslaught, which will kill off all the armor Digimon because they are all 5 cost. So the armor release will all happen here, and all the Vmons will be left there. So the armor release mechanic is definitely very strong, but however, against the Gatekeeper, these armor release don't really do too much until I do actually cast a Fire Rocket option. I'm gonna evolve to the Kumamon here just to mainly cycle to the deck, and we really want to draw that Fire Rocket option as we do swing the Kumamon and the Pilates Head to draw one thanks to the Upamon. Definitely really want to draw the more Fire Rockets into our hand. I'm going to evolve to the Rhydramon just to cycle more. I'm going to kill off the Bubble Head, of course, and of course drawing one thanks to Upamon. So really a lot of Upamon happening this game. I'm going to actually play the Dual Tamer here, which is a fatal move because I do actually ignore the existence of the Reaper, and I should actually evolve the Magnamon, which will be more than enough to actually block off the Reaper for at least the first swing. So that Dual Tamer play was very unnecessary, as he does go for the 7 searches underneath the Mana D Reaper. We're going to swing the Gatekeeper now, hitting to the Davis, but Davis is too late to save the day because we do really need the memory, and we do see the Fire Rocket going down thanks to the Davis. So man, Davis, you're not helping us this time. He's going to play 7 searches into the drop zone here and going to play the Reaper for free cost. Man, the Reaper is going to start swinging, as I do have only 3 security left. I do hope for a miracle, and the miracle will be more Ice Wall and more Hammer Spark. The first one is answered, but definitely the Magnamon play should have been better and more reliable, and really respecting that Reaper play. So this will conclude the top 8 run. Now this is the Mana D Reaper deck list if you guys are interested in. And this will be the armor release Digimon that actually piloted that weekend. Thank you guys for watching till the end, and do consider subscribing, dropping a like and a comment if you guys do enjoy the content.